art and AI, do they fit together besides having both an A? Yes, they fit together. And to see how they fit together, I have a guest today, Troy Plota, the founder and CEO of Plutoverse, that has a whole tool set that makes you, even without big creative education, uh, lets you create stuff with AI and let your creativity out. Troy believes that art should be accessible for everybody and anybody. Welcome to another episode of the Beginner's Guide to AI, an interview episode. And today is really interesting because it's a real art, first real art topic we have on the show. Happy to have Troy here. So I just give Troy the mic and say welcome. It's Dietmar from Argo Berlin.
I can talk a lot about Troy, but the thing is, he can talk the best about himself. So I just give the microphone to Troy. And first of all, thank you to being on the podcast here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it very much. I'm excited to talk with you today.
What got you into AI? Why AI? What's your background?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I'm a longtime photographer, fashion advertising, celebrity photographer. I started shooting in 1984, something like that, when I was a kid. And it's all I've ever really done. As photography kept progressing, I kept getting involved on what's the next progression of content creation, whether it's photo, video, that sort of thing. Um, Started my own studio when I was 21, and then in the early 2000s, I actually had the first billboard in Times Square that was shot with a digital camera. So, like, digital camera, photogrammetry, like, as everything kept progressing, I just kept getting involved, and now AI is the obvious thing, and I really see where it can help creators and most everybody really, but specifically, I'm focusing on creators and how it can help people express themselves.
Oh yeah, that's the development of the photo camera from film. You have to have real film, and there's nothing that behind it. And now everybody has a smartphone with AI in it. Yeah, that's like quite a development. And um, yeah, this is actually so you just said okay, I have to go with it, and yeah, you did more with it actually. Let's talk about Plutoverse, and you made something out of that, of the AI.
Yes, yeah, so I've been now, like, studying for years, and I've created a social platform specifically for AI, specifically for content creators, or, if people are excited to see kinda what's happening with content creation, it's all AI driven. So, through the platform, I'm gonna have APIs set up for, users to come in and to test and to try different tools that they prefer. And part of my job really is to educate on how to create with AI. And like you're saying, as far as even with the podcast, even for newbies, like, and I think at this point, most everybody's a newbie. Like, it's really new. We're still at the very beginning of all of this. So there's really nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah. So what's how do I'm let's say I'm a photographer or I work with photographers, I'm a content creator. How do I start?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, there's a lot of different ways. The question is, are you a content creator who's doing this for a living? And is this something that you need to include for your clients? Or is it something that you're just interested in as a hobby? And so once again, I'm interested in helping, both sides. Always surprisingly, people who come into it for hobby actually can find ways also to monetize. So I always have that monetization as part of the journey as well, if the person is interested. Um, but there's so many tools out there. So whether it's images that you've already done that you can like bring into like, let's say Runway or HyperAI or Leonardo, like there's all different kinds of tools and to repurpose them. And even for like simple videos, actually to add an AI background of something whimsical, like out of this world is really a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is for all the people out there, Runway is video, Leonardo is pictures I can do stuff with, and yeah,
Right.
so as an you see it as a potential, like it's better for an artist to use AI than not to use it.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's going to be something that's going to be important to know and to be a part of your toolkit. We just, talk about your toolkit. Like I mentioned early on in the early 2000s, there was a big selection of photographers who swore digital could never overtake film and digital will never be as good as film. And, all of a sudden those guys were left in the dust and they had to do a lot of catching up to do. So what I'm doing right now is saying, okay, this is a toolkit to whatever it is that you're doing, just as far as to make things faster and easier and even more creative. So this is what's fun is AI is really enabling us to create some really amazing things that we never even could even think of before, really.
Talk a little bit more about the Plutoverse. So this is a social platform for creators with AI, with social. So I have, let's imagine, I mean, everybody does photos now. Everybody has videos and plays around. So I have something. Do I go there? Do I upload this stuff? Is it talking about those creations you make, or?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So just to go backwards a little bit, so I'm been going on for 8 years, so long time celebrity, fashion, advertising photographer, and I had this idea to turn a photo into a video. So I ended up getting 5 patents on photo to video technology. So pre-AI, so almost the leading up to AI. So that's kind of what I'm known for, is really bringing this technology into place. So now with Plotaverse as a social platform, we have the tools. I had the number one app in the App Store. Um, I've done, decent, really good sales throughout the years. But now I have this opportunity to, through my community, to build this AI platform. And while I'm doing it is to teach people how to use the tools as well and include the tools too. So Plotograph is kind of like my main app that we developed that takes photo to video.
That's great. No, it's actually from an entrepreneurship standpoint, because I come basically from the entrepreneurship world. It's like you have something and you try to make something more round out of it. You take the people you have and give them something. Yeah, that's one thing. And the other thing is, you're a photographer from background. How do you get 8 patents on like basic programming tasks? Did I mean this is like crazy.
It's Yeah, it's just a process that I came up with as far as to shift pixels. So it's pixel shifting. And there's a big push for cinemagraphs back in the day. So once again, cinemagraphs is a looping video that you would pause a part of the video. So I saw what was happening to photography and photographers being left in the dust, everything moving to video. So I said, you know what, this is a process that could be very helpful to photographers. So I brought the pixel shifting. I hired a team that was really amazing. Initially, they told me it couldn't be done. And then being from production, I'm like, no, it could be done. Let's go. So we kind of created that and it was a sensation back in 2016. Apple actually invited me into build for the iOS, went to number one in the App Store. And so it's just once again the progression of photography, progression of content creation. And it is leading a lot to video for sure. So it's like, how do you help people kind of create, whether it's even memories for their family, themselves and their family, or something that for them to express themselves with.
And one of the things I really find interesting about it, it's like um, in old times, let's say one went to the movies and that was a big thing. And I remember this was the Michael Jackson video where the more people morphed into each other. It was so expensive and now you have all those tools. What does it give the people?
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you name that particular music video, because I actually, with the funds of developing the pixel shifting, I also created Plota Morph, was my morphing app, as inspiration of that. And so that's one of the things that we're including right now into the Plotaverse is actually tools that help you morph as well. So all of these tools that used to be very difficult. So here's where it gets fun. This is part of my story is it no longer has to be lots of millions of dollars of production with big, big teams. If you think it, AI is now your best friend to help you make it. So this is where it really, once again, helps people to express themselves. I'm also a breathwork facilitator as like a side item. I really, holotropic breathing, and I really see how it helps people. And I'm like, you know what? AI is actually really interesting as far as to help have these stuck, whether it's emotions or things that you're thinking about, or even creative ideas that in the past, you would have to be a great painter in order to do, or, learn your tools of the camera or video. So now it's more of like all of that's out of the way. AI is now here to assist you in your creation.
It's leveling the playing field somehow, no? It's
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Totally.
This is no, this is like for a creator, I don't need that team or so. Or it doesn't
Right.
mean, I mean, probably doesn't mean that I now make a Hollywood movie, but I can make a like a model of that, or for something smaller. No, it's like so. In this way, is it helping in this way or?
Yeah, yeah. I have friends. Most everybody's like, I always had this idea for a show. I always had this idea for a book. I always had this idea for whatever it might be. And now I think what people are just now understanding, realizing, wow, that could come to fruition. So my job through Plotaverse is to teach you which tool can help that come to fruition and give you the platform to present it. And if you go viral, this is the other thing that really kind of sets us apart is Instagram, YouTube, all these platforms. Um, they do pay creators, but very small percentages. So what we're doing is it's a creator-based platform. So as we get the advertising in, we're really creating a place for the artists to share. And we really excited about the success stories coming of people who never, didn't consider themselves an artist. For some reason, people want to, through the years, say a painter is an artist, or like, so now what I'm finding is a lot of people who are using AI who are just discovering this, they're proudly saying, I'm an artist, in collaboration with this tool that now gives us the ability to create things that we never thought we can create before. It's just miracle. It's like miracle after miracle. And it's almost every month there's a new tool that comes out. It's exciting.
Great. I totally see that. I have a daughter. She's 3 years old, and she's painting, singing, and whatever. And then, I mean, like most of the children. But at a certain point, they stop. Huh? It's like they learn. Yeah, I'm not an artist. I'm not as good, and they unlearn that. They are afraid of doing it. And now you get the tools to keep doing it or to
Yeah,
rediscover it. Yeah.
exactly.
What so there's the possibility of morph. So I go to Plutoverse and I have all the tools in there for my creativity.
Yeah, yeah. We also have for beginners, we have what I call a daily inspiration. That's a contest. So that's something that is every user gets to come in and use easy tools to use. And then they submit, and then people vote that day on who their favorite artist is. And a lot of times even new people who come in, they can choose a simple overlay that are created by AIs and that sort of thing. So you kind of like step them into it easily.
Oh yeah, that's great. I mean, this is like really, you have to also, this is like with the children again, you have to motivate people to do something. Yeah? It's like you can give them a tool and it's this typical marketing thing. Yeah? This is my product. And people are like, yeah, but you have to teach them how to use it, and you have to give them examples. You have to, yeah, this is the whole program. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, going through most of my career as like a hands-on, 30 years in the business, creating. I'm finding myself now stepping into an educator's phase of my life. Um, my kids are all grown up, and now I'm traveling, around the world and just teaching. It seems to be my role at the moment.
I arrived there also. People told me, yeah, you would arrive there at a certain point, but no, that's like a typical thing. Yeah? Now you did a lot of thing, and yeah, personally, you can now give people other stuff if you have ideas, and AI helps. I don't totally see that. No, this is like, um, but yeah. So what's around for AI? What's coming? What's the next thing? What's in creativity? What's happening there?
Oh gosh, what like we think that we can say, okay, this is what's about to happen, and then all of a sudden, like, wow. One of the things that we're planning on for the next few months also is building in an AI helper. So basically, you can come on and instead of like typing a question in, you could literally have a conversation with who even avatars who you'd feel comfortable with. You could choose the voice. You could choose who the person is, and just have a conversation. This is what I'm feeling today. This is what I feel like creating, or it goes beyond that too. All of a sudden, you have an assistant in your daily life to just make things easier. And what I tell our platform, and I tell our ambassadors is, I want to make your life easier so you can actually get out in nature more as well. So you're not just sitting here, doing the AI. So AI can actually make your life easier so you can spend more time with family and actually getting out in nature so we can have that well-rounded lifestyle. I'm in Thailand right now, so it's like I feel really so lucky. So it's really a part of the DNA as far as what we're creating.
It is so great. Yeah. It's probably also warmer than here. Yeah,
True. I do
that's
chase the
fair.
warm weather for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So, but I have the feeling that's like this impressionism phase where the people then went out because the tools were there. You didn't have to use this oil pen anymore. You could sketch out, and now you have AI to do that. No? Yeah, letting the people out. What you say, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's coming as far as the tools, what it's each like right now you said like we're talking about Leonardo, we were talking about HyperAI, we're talking about Runway, and you would say Runway's video. Runway does stills also. So, but the thing is, we're already kind of like seeing who's specializing in what. Right? So Hyper AI is kind of specializing also in advertising. They're really working with the agencies and brands and that sort of thing. So it's the beginning of it. So if anybody's looking to learn, of course, starting now is a really great time. Um, but each tool is becoming niche. And I'm on the calls with a lot of these brands and a lot of these tools companies, and like, what are you guys doing? What are you specializing in? And sometimes they're like, well, it seems like this is really popular right now, but you can see where they're kind of like starting to go into a flow as far as where they'll focus for their customers.
Mhm. Why do you say you work with those, let's say agencies or artists, or what's their biggest problem right now with AI?
It actually, so we had this Coca-Cola ad that came out before the holidays, right? And, they kind of got beat up actually for it, right? Which I think kind of unfairly. I'm not the biggest Coca-Cola fan, um, but I was proud of them for actually utilizing the tools and in hiring the artists who are brave enough to step into this. So that's where the future is going, though. We all know that most things will be created with AI. It's a lot easier, a lot more cost effective, which in turn you can get more creative with things as well. So a lot of artists have been, if regional, like let's say they weren't in Hollywood, let's say they didn't have an opportunity to live in New York City. Now, anywhere in the world, you have the tools, and that's what we're doing is we're providing you with the tools, and we're choosing the APIs that will work best for those tools, and then once again educate. And then ideally, okay, so next steps also is we want to do film festivals. We want to really help also with awards platforms and that sort of thing with AI. Once again, to really just promote this amazing new tool that we have.
So it's like the adoption rate is not as high as it could be. People are still afraid to use it, or are they overwhelmed?
It's kind of a combination, all of the above of what you just said. Um,
Yeah.
it's grown really fast, and there are millions of people out there already utilizing the tools. And then it's kind of like, now what? And a lot of users like say if they're on Instagram or TikTok, TikTok might be shut down in the United States in a
Yeah.
few weeks. We're actually going live with our social platform the day that they're supposed to be shut down.
I'm
Uh,
curious what happens there. Yeah. This is
we'll see whether that happens or not. But regardless, it's just new is coming, and really, it's going to serve people as far as to help them, whether it's monetize or get followers. A lot of AI artists, they're creating amazing content, and say they have like 50 like unbelievable reels. You think they're made in Hollywood, but they have like 1,000 or 2,000 followers. Instagram is such a hard place to gain followers anymore because of the algorithms.
yeah.
We have no algorithms. Our whole system is based on the best content. People come in, we don't hide anybody, and you could actually go in and decide what kind of content you want to view. It's all preferenced by what you want as a user.
I like this. This is like this is the time when I was in Twitter, when there was no algorithm. I chose the people I wanted to follow, and I saw what I wanted to follow. And now all the away from social media to discovery media, I see stuff from people that I don't want to see that stuff, but I want to see the stuff from the people I follow, but I don't see that. So yeah, it's actually a good step. It's really good. It makes it like more real, I think. Not talking about reels, but they have more like unreals. But yeah, I like it. No,
Right, exactly. It'll be very much like that too. And so, I've gotten the opportunity now after almost decades of social media to see what happened in the early days, what we really liked, and then what the platforms actually did to, monetize. Of course, every business has to monetize, but the balance is swung quite far on the other side. So now we're giving users a choice as far as what do you want to see? It's all up to you. It's your choice. And, even with posting and that sort of thing, our platform will be 17 plus. So there won't be any kids on the
that's
platform.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, so that way it's like we don't have to worry about hurting anybody or any children, but it gives the artists opportunity to express themselves. You know, they don't have to worry about being banned every 2 seconds, which obviously even as a photographer back in the day, it's like, you can be a little avant-garde um with your designs or what it is that you're expressing. Um and then with advertisers, when they come in to advertise on the platform, they won't have, like, a lot of 8-year-olds. I did this actually on TikTok years ago. We'd advertise, we actually go to look like, oh gosh, it was like thousands of 7 and 8-year-olds were advertising who could never buy the product. So, so now it's like AI is helping with all of this. Once again, it just is making our life easy.
Yeah. No, I think actually the way that long ago I always heard about this specialized platforms should come, and I think it looks like we're at that point now. No, you bet on it, so you wouldn't be here
Right.
with your idea.
Exactly.
But you think the time is right for niche platforms, yeah?
There's a stat that something like 60% of people 30 years and younger prefer a niche platform. So it really is, it makes sense for everybody. It makes sense for the user. And it also makes sense for the advertisers too, as far as to jump in and say, oh, okay, this is a product that we have. So we're not tracking you. That's the other thing. Because it's niche, the niche. And so the advertisers come in and you're safe. Once again, it's not the Facebook, Instagram sort of model where you think something and all of a sudden, like, why is this popping up on my feed? You know? I know, yeah. So that's more scary. So people are like, okay, sometimes they're afraid of AI, but like, no, no, no. Like what's happening right now? There's enough things, of course, to be concerned about. And if anything, once again, this is putting a little bit more control as long as it's utilized properly.
No, I love that because you have to make you have to have this unique selling proposition, unfair advantage, and you're not tracking people. You have a focus. If people really start doom scrolling, they at least did art and looked at things and built up their creativity and didn't look at car accidents and people dancing some things. And yeah, I think it's a double sense. You can upload your stuff, but if you're a consumer there, it's also like much better.
Right. And educations are really important to us too. So we have a part that like there's so many people with all this knowledge, but they're not a content creator or up until now. So that's really a passion of mine is to get, I'm 55 now. I don't know how that happened, but I do have a lot of knowledge. And now I don't need a big team to go and, produce video and edit and all this kind of stuff. I can actually type it in, prompt it in, or even talk into the microphone and then have a visual representation of that. So now what I would love for Plutoverse to be is a great place also for people to learn from.
Yeah, yeah. This is actually the you can start. I mean, I'm also over 50 now. Then I don't know how that happened exactly. Like you say, it's like really whoop. Yeah, but
Right.
no. The thing is, you can. The audience of this podcast is more or less or our age. This is all the people younger, high, listen to the podcast is great, but the average is like in the 50 to 60 range, so let's say 40 to 60 range, and you can go out there, do stuff for your firms, for whatever. So actually, that's really it's never too late. And in AI, there's not so many specialists. Do you see many people now focused solely on AI? Are there people who make a living out of the AI creativity now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are the different platforms where people have gotten lucky and they got the followers and that sort of thing. But the key now, and this is one of the things that we're working with, we work not only with content creators, but with the brands. So we're leading the brands in to say, don't be afraid of this. And actually, hey, you want to save some money on your production. And of course, they're all interested in that. So what we're doing is I'm finding the top content creators in the world and introducing them to the brands.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we say, hey, by the way, if you're advertising, come over to Plutoverse and here are the artists. So we're kind of bringing everybody together. As a longtime advertising photographer, it's just in my wheelhouse as far as what I've done. If you would have asked me 30 years ago, 20 years ago, if this is what I would be doing, and we'd have even these tools that did this, I probably couldn't have guessed this was even possible, actually.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, no, this is and also the things like 30 years ago were different. You had the ad money and you could rent a helicopter or whatever for production,
Right.
and those
Yeah.
times are over. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And now you're like, hey, so we can't rent the helicopter, which I've been on many helicopters throughout the years and did all that kinds of production. But now it's like, oh, I have this thought. I have this idea. Yeah. And you can just make it happen.
I remember this was the Star Trek, the fifth Star Trek movie where James T. Kirk was also, so William Shatner was the producer. So, and he wanted to start the movie with like going to from space to Earth, just magnifying, and they said that's too expensive. And that was, I don't know, Universal or whatever. That was, and today it's like, oh yeah, yeah, just one button click, or you talk in your phone and then you have it. It's
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
So creativity was limited, or mostly limited by technology in this case, and now we have a huge push. It's like people can go out. Wow, yeah.
Right. Exactly. I think there's a stat that I heard last week that something like a heavy percentage of films that come out of Hollywood that are rated G make most of the money. Right. And so, but all the other kind of like violence, all these other sort of things that we get stuck with watching, or they even sneak into movies and stuff like that, um, which really can affect society as a whole. Now we are able to actually, what do we really want to see, and what do we really want to create, and support those artists who are really truly creating content that really vibes with us.
Yeah, yeah. No, and actually talking about the ad side, because you come from that, I come from marketing, and so what I really love also the idea that you connect the people, that you have the possibility. It's I mean, there's this you can be the greatest AI artist and be like 300 years ago the painter who lives in a small shed, or they have no money, but yeah, the connection of this is always important. You have to have a possibility to live your creativity, and
Yeah, so we've made it even to where you can come onto the platform and for free, you can use the tools to do the daily contest. And the winners, right? We have the sponsors now coming in from the AI companies are giving them free time on the tools. So if they can't afford it, there's almost at this point, if you have the thought to do it and you have the time, you can make your way into this. And then once again, you get the time, create a reel, and you can make a career for yourself anywhere in the world.
that is great. You just need a computer, which everybody has now, and then you can start. And probably even with a phone. I mean, it's like it's there's no excuse, people.
Right,
It's like you have to
exactly,
go out.
exactly. Yes.
Oh, that's great. There's one thing I have to ask you about AI, and I teased that at the start. Everybody who listens knows it. How is it about AI, the evil AI? Do you think that there's any possibility of a Terminator, Matrix, or so scenario where the AI takes over?
Yes, I do. And just as we know, anything is possible, right? Anything in the realm of possibilities. So the key is as humanity, what is it that we're thinking? What is it that we're looking at? What is it that we're producing? What's our vibration level and what are we creating? So AI is not human. It only knows to track us for what's needed. And if we are on a good path, I see it as a supportive thing. And if we're not, or in the wrong hands, yes, things could kind of get out of hand. But it's up to us as Germany, United States, like all the countries combined, as long as we can get enough people on and understanding it and not afraid of it, I think that's key. So that way we know a lot about. So if the governments, you have any like bad actors who are out there and they only know how to do this, then they could circumvent what may, if they have any bad plans. But anyways, if we know what's happening, I think that we can have the good robots on our side.
Actually, I mean, your vision is a good one. It's like freeing your mind for creativity, and that's for many people, that's the vision, no? Um,
Yeah, being in a place of possibilities and love instead of fear and all these other things that are out there. So it's for us to choose.
that's yeah. Talking about one thing to talking about choosing. What's the tool you use most? The AI tool.
Kind of combination, actually. Plotograph, I'm using quite a bit, of course, because that's my tool that I've invented. Midjourney, I like quite a bit for stills. I use Runway quite a bit for the videos. HyperAI as well. Working with some clients with that, and yeah, and then let's see what else. I'm trying all of them right now.
Did you get access to Sora? Did you get in there?
Yep, yep, exactly. And then, of course, the hype comes in and yes, this is great. And then, of course, there's some limitations on this side. But on all of the platforms, this is as bad as it'll ever get. Like, it's just really just, a year from now, can you imagine what's going to happen?
So actually, this I like I'm in the same mood. I see a new tool. I just try it. I do something with it, and actually, I think that's the right stage now. Because what you also say, the development 1 year from now, things are much better. No, but this is actually a good end for the podcast. Go out and try things, people. That's the mindset you have to have. And so the last thing is, Troy, tell us where do we find you? Where can we find you? Where can we connect to you?
So the Plutoverse app, it'll be on iOS and the App Store. It is on the App Store right now, and also soon to be Android. Probably by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be on Android and desktop. Plutoverse.com. That is where to find me. Plutoverse.com and/or the Plutoverse on Android and iOS.
That is good, and I have an Android phone. I'm not an Apple person, but that's great that it also comes out there because I was afraid sometimes I get left out. Great apps just are in iPhone, so we come
Will
there.
not be left out. Definitely pushing really hard to get the Android. Loving it.
That is great. So, Troy, thanks for this great podcast. And creativity matters even more with AI, and I love that. And let's see how things develop. I think I have you back in a few months when everything goes to the next step. That's great. So, thank you for the great interview. And yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in a few months as well.
So people connect to Troy, and yeah.
Wow, fascinating. The democratization of art and creativity through AI, empowering people like you and me. I mean, I'm not really creative. I'm creative. I have ideas, but I have not the tools to use it. So those new tools like the Plutoverse as a social platform with the tools inside there that makes it possible for us to use our creativity to let it out. So AI not cutting jobs, but making it possible for all of us to use something we couldn't use before. I think that's a great thing. That's a great case of how to use AI for the best of humanity. Yeah, thanks again, Troy. And the only thing I have to say is goodbye. And don't forget to rate the podcast on your podcasting app and follow it. Also go to argoberlin.com/newsletter to never miss an episode and get some tips and tricks on AI. Signing off, Dietmar from argo.berlin.